Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
The cleanup underway in New London tonight as crews work to pick up the pieces after yesterday's church collapse. The building now reduced to just a pile of rubble. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Hardin.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Officials declared the historic First Congregational Church on Union Street a total loss. Just yesterday afternoon, its steeple came crumbling down, leaving a gaping hole in the top of the building. Now,
Fox 61 has had crews on scene all day long, working to learn the latest details on what happened and get community reaction. So let's send it right out to Fox 61's Emma Wolforst on where the investigation stands tonight. Emma.
Good evening, Brent, Sarah. As crews are finishing up work for the day here, clearing that rubble, we're learning new information about the safety and history of this iconic church. This nearly 175-year-old building is shared by two congregations, First Congregational and Engaging Heaven. The city has records showing the structure was deemed safe back in 2011. The last fire inspection on the church was done in 2019. The fire marshal says then just 3 minor violations were found, but he says those inspections are just simple walkthroughs. Crews aren't able to check behind walls or do anything extensive. Officials telling me there is no trigger in building code to have annual or even routine inspections of privately owned buildings, something the city is now looking to change.
There is no process for routine inspections of structures in the city. You can be assured that at least in this city, and I imagine many cities across the state, are going to be putting a closer eye on the condition of some of these historic structures, because this has certainly caught us by surprise.
Mayor Passero says the city is currently discussing the legal limits of requiring private building owners to provide detailed inspection proof, adding in wake of this incident, there are multiple New London buildings the city now wants to look into. And these crews will be here on site all weekend. They won't begin demolishing those 2 towers tonight. The mayor says that'll happen tomorrow morning at the earliest. But he also says unless there's anything really big that changes, they also won't be providing any more press conferences until early next week. Reporting live in New London, Emma Wolforst, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thanks, Emma. Yeah, they jumped right into cleaning up the rubble. Remember, they were out there last night just hours after the collapse happened, so they are not wasting any time.
They're not wasting any time, nope.
All right, so as the investigation into what happened continues, there are so many people speaking out in New London.
Yeah, many are thankful this roof collapse wasn't worse. It could have been much worse on a Sunday. Fox 61's Jim Altman joins us live on scene now with more. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Sarah. Well, yeah, this cleanup continues. Certainly the investigation continues. As for the demolition, that has stopped just for tonight. It will pick back up tomorrow again. We changed our vantage point from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. We're going to show you, we're just off Union Street right now. So that's a front-on look at the church. And if we go past the rubble there and into the towers, as we said, this is a total loss. It's all coming down. This 170-year-old church will be coming down. Those towers will be taken down, we are told, sometime this weekend. The mayor saying the skyline of this city has changed forever. So what's left here? Well, there's tons of rubble, but perhaps there's even more relief. Seeing the wreckage, the reactions are impassioned.
Yeah, everything's gone. Unbelievable.
I think, oh my God, what if we would have been in there?
Just ultimately divine intervention.
This after the sudden roof collapse of the First Congregational Church, also called the Engaging Heaven Church in New London. As the cleanup continues, on site there are so many stories, and so many here giving thanks. Bruce De Los Reyes used to help at the church soup kitchen.
I used to volunteer here for the breakfast on Friday morning, You know, it helped a lot of people. You know, it's just a blessing that nobody got hurt.
Retired New London middle school teacher Stephanie Gerardo recalls taking her class on trips to the church.
It was very old, beautiful. The woodwork was beautiful. The windows were, it was just a really nice place.
Connecticut College sophomore Mac Haynes was on campus when the church collapsed. Dozens of his classmates live next door at Manwaring Hall, which is entirely intact.
We got a campus-wide email that everyone in the building needs to evacuate when it happened, and a lot of commotion went on campus about what was going on.
Amid all the wreckage, all this rubble, the sentiment is that something miraculous happened here.
It's sad that this has happened, but to see the community rally together for something is just, that in itself is very special.
We're lucky. New London's lucky because a lot of New London people go here. I think it's wonderful. It's a miracle.
And probably 3 or 4 more days worth of demolition to go, they tell us. They're also gathering goods for the church, clothing and food for those here in New London who need it. So if you want to help out, you want to donate, we'll put a link on our website at fox61.com and on the Fox 61 News app. Tonight we're live in New London. Jim Altman, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Hi, Jimmy, thank you. And Connecticut's news station is committed to following this story throughout the course of the investigation. When we learn new details, we'll update you online at fox61.com and on the free Fox 61 News app.
Turning to the weather now, after a rainy week, will the weekend be the same?
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frame joining us now. Rachel, it's going to be a little the same, isn't it?
Yeah, the gloom continues. We're still left wondering, what does the sun look like? I forget. But Saturday at least is going to be dry, other than maybe some fog or mist in the morning. And then Sunday, we got a coastal storm to contend with some rain, snow, and a little bit of both. Taking a look at the radar right now, other than some drips, some sprinkles, some fog, we're pretty calm out there, so I don't anticipate any big weather issues. There could be visibility dropping out there for some, so about a 1.5 mile visibility right now in parts of western Connecticut, but it's not as bad as what we've seen. Still, though, it could become a bit more dense as we head through the overnight hours. Temperatures right now are in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. And as we head through the evening tonight, temperatures are only slowly dropping back, eventually leading us into the mid to upper 30s as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So again, kind of gloomy day. We might be able to see some late day sunshine, some breaks in the overcast, but whatever we end up seeing would likely be really brief as the clouds come back in. And then we're watching from Sunday morning into Monday morning for rain changing over to a mix and then snow, the most accumulation in the hills, but little or nothing along the shoreline. We'll take a closer look coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. Shelton police have arrested a teenager accusing her of a deadly hit and run. Police say 19-year-old Ariella Treisler of Trumbull hit 64-year-old Stephanie Peterson in the area of Howe Avenue and White Street earlier this month. Peterson died at the hospital. Treisler was released on $50,000 bond and is due in court next month.
New Haven police are investigating a shooting tonight. It happened just before 8:30 last night in the area of Winchester Avenue and Highland Street. Police say a 34-year-old man suffered multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to the hospital. Police are now looking at surveillance footage in the area, but anyone with any information on what happened should call New Haven police.
Several fire crews responded to a barn fire overnight in Litchfield. It happened on Town Farm Road. Officials say when they arrived, the barn was heavily involved and had collapsed. Crews were on scene several hours to put it out. There were no injuries, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Day 11 of the Michelle Troconis trial, and jurors are again immersed in the interview room where police questioned Troconis on the disappearance of Jennifer Farber-Dulos. This time it took place at Troconis' attorney's office 4 days after police first spoke with her. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc sitting in the courtroom watching the more than 3-hour video, and she joins us now live outside Stamford Superior Court with the takeaways tonight. Julia.
In this second interview, jurors saw some of Troconis' details change, with police telling her they thought she was lying. At the same time, Troconis was telling them police were making her nervous.
I think you're probably one of the most hated women in America right now.
Police pressing Michelle Troconis for answers at her lawyer's office on June 6, 2019. She was facing charges of hindering prosecution and tampering with physical evidence, all in connection to the disappearance of Jennifer Farber-Dulos.
We want to know who was involved and where Jennifer is.
It's the second time Troconis was questioned in the case. In the interview room, retired state police detective John Kimball. In court Friday, he says Troconis' account of what she did the day Jennifer went missing changed. This time around, Troconis told police she did not see her then-boyfriend, Fotis Dulos, that Friday morning in his office.
What had she told you on June 2nd about seeing Fotis in the office?
She said that she went to the office and she saw a meeting between Kent Moeni and Fotis Dulos.
In this interview, police also knew more. They found timelines in Fotis' Farmington home detailing what the couple did the day Jennifer was last seen alive.
So Fotis was making us make timelines.
What?
Of that day.
Not on those timelines, the trip to Hartford, where police say Fotis was dumping bags of evidence with Troconis in tow.
I went as a companion, but if I knew he was doing something wrong, I would not even walked into that car. That's the part that I'm like, wow, I mean, if he really did it.
Police also asking Troconis if she asked her boyfriend what happened.
He's like, I don't know, but everything is gonna be fine. Don't worry. I'm like, what do you mean? There's Jennifer missing.
Outside court Friday, Troconis' sister speaking with reporters.
My sister attempted to cooperate not once, not twice, but 3 times with the police. And so I know that everyone wants answers, but my sister's not the right answer. She doesn't know anything. She's innocent.
Now, during cross-examination, defense attorney John Schoenhorn making it clear that at any point, Troconis could have told police during that more than 3-hour interview that she was done and she wanted to walk away. But he says she didn't. We are in Stamford. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.